Today, I want to bring you some insights from Grant Cardone, the author of the 10X Rule and the famous Fact Bomb Guy. I'm going to share his thoughts and I'll mix in my own as well so we can reflect on it together. In his last book, Grant threw out a radical message. Forget about all the goals you've set until now and aim 10 times bigger. After that, he started receiving tons of letters from people saying they're struggling to scale their businesses 10 times bigger. They said, "It's tough to keep up with this massive goal and everything's falling apart." After reading all these letters, Grant said, "There's a missing puzzle piece." Then he told his own story to explain what he meant and how he genuinely wants to help people succeed. So, let's take a look at how Grant, a former drug addict with nothing, went on to build a net worth of $600 million. Let's first check out his past, from Grant Cardone's point of view. His father, an immigrant from Italy to the United States in the early 1900s, came with nothing but a relentless pursuit of the American dream. He was a man with big plans and started a life insurance company with some partners. The business was doing well, but for some unknown reason, his partners forced him out. At that time, Grant's mother had already given birth to 3 children, including twin brothers. Suddenly, the father, at the age of 42, lost his job and had to start over. With the little savings he had, his father got his securities broker license and started a new venture. He was obsessed with success. He worked tirelessly and never gave up. Eventually, he achieved everything he dreamed of. He bought the trendiest luxury sedan of the time, and the family moved to a massive house with a lake view and over 1,800 square meters of land. The house even had a boat for water skiing and a lawnmower. Their neighbors were successful professional business people, and they had truly achieved the American dream. But that happiness was short-lived. Just a year and a half after moving into their dream home, his father passed away from heart disease, leaving his mother, at 48, a widow with 5 kids. All they had left was a little life insurance money and that big house. His mother, with no college degree or marketable skills, quickly started scaling down their lifestyle. She sold the mansion and moved the family to a small brick house in the city. To young Grant, everything seemed off. The houses were packed closely together, and the house was filled with sadness. Everyone missed his father, and his mother was filled with fear and anxiety. She always said, "Didn't your father make us middle class? We have more than most people." Grant couldn't accept this. They would worry every time they went to the grocery store if they would run out of money. His mother was scared all the time, though she never admitted it. Grant, only 16 at the time, couldn't understand why she couldn't be grateful. "What's there to be thankful for?" he thought. He swore to his mother, "When I grow up, I'll be rich. You won't have to worry about money anymore. Forget middle class. I'm going to be a millionaire." But saying that was easy. Back then, his words were just empty promises. He hadn't filled his inner self and was carrying around a lot of anger. At this point, his mother kept trying to convince him to let go of his dreams and accept the real world. He was frustrated because, unlike most people, he could see how things really worked. The world around him didn't make sense, and his world fell apart. By the time he finished high school, he was deeply involved in a bad crowd, drinking, smoking, and using drugs. Drugs became a part of his daily life, and he was causing serious problems. He was a mess physically, his face was gray, and he was a burden to his family. One day he collapsed at home, and even though he almost died, it didn't change him. He made vows to never touch drugs again, but they were quickly broken. He hated his life. He was working as a car salesman, and he hated his job, his colleagues, and everything about his life. A few days later, his family took him to rehab, and that was when everything started to shift. The therapist told him, "Don't dream about success. Your addiction is incurable. You have no control over your life." But when Grant came home, he realized something big. He had been focusing on the wrong things. Instead of reflecting on his failures, he began focusing on his future. He made a list of everything he wanted to achieve in life. He wanted to make his family proud, become someone with self-respect, and prove his therapist wrong. This became his turning point. From that moment, he decided to stop focusing on his past mistakes and started focusing on the future. He was no longer interested in drugs. He wanted success. So he embraced his obsession with success instead of fighting it. His energy shifted. He poured everything into his car sales job and threw himself into learning about the industry. He wasn't in love with the job, but he used it as a stepping stone to success. Soon he became one of the best salespeople. He was dedicated, showing up an hour before everyone else and staying late. Eventually, he became known as one of the top salespeople in the industry, and people started asking him how he did it. They thought his success was because he'd gotten clean from drugs, but that wasn't it. He had embraced his obsession with success, and that made all the difference. Grant's success didn't stop there. He built a real estate empire, became a marketing mogul and a billionaire. He had 7 companies, a net worth of billions, and gave millions away in charity. When people saw his success, they told him, "You've just swapped one obsession for another." But Grant responded, "Sorry, but that's not going to happen." He said, "When you hit rock bottom, it means the only way is up. What gave me a new life was my obsession with success." I started to truly understand what obsession could do for me. Grant emphasized that not everyone wants to succeed. Many people are fine living ordinary lives. But if you're watching this, you probably have a small obsession with success. And that's something you need to acknowledge, because if you try to deny it, you'll be creating problems for yourself. The first test to check if you have that obsession is to ask yourself, do you have dreams that others would say are impossible? Do you want to be known by everyone? Have you ever imagined what it would feel like to be famous or to own a private jet? If you answered yes to any of these, then you need to pay attention. Grant says, admit it. You want it all, and you deserve it. The people who tell you to relax or tell you that you can't have everything, don't take advice from them. You're not on the same path. You can have everything. Wealth, health, family, love, leisure. Don't settle for less. Don't let others convince you that you should compromise. You can achieve it all. Grant and I both agree on this. You don't need to settle.